So here we are in a small town. I got some shots.
Okay. Because it was really good.
Taking in the sights, but also doing a little Q&A, asking people, what do you think about Jason Aldean's latest song, Try That in a Small Town? And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the results are shocking. Pepperonis are huge. So out of probably the few people that I did ask, honestly, I've lost track. I'm not going to come up with some arbitrary number of how many people I surveyed on the streets, but the answer was unanimously, hey, what do you think about Jason Aldean's latest song, Try That in a Small Town? Do you think that this is some form of hidden racist lyrics or modern day lynching? 100%. Actually, I take that back. Not everybody. There was one person. Everyone said the same thing, but one person said, I don't know who Jason Aldean is, never heard the song, so sorry, I can't help you.
Pretty much guarantee it's going to be a vegan.
Oh, we had a few problems today. We actually outside with one of them right now. And it's not that they wouldn't serve us food because of whatever craziness people may come up with, but nor is it this potential downpour or torrential rain that's coming over this mountain here. But it's actually something that we're just not used to. We didn't really expect. And that was, we walked in and we were gonna try to beat the rush, right? Mm-hmm. So the people in front of us were like, yeah, they said it's a 20-minute wait. Mm-hmm. So we were like, all right, the bar was wide open. So we went to the bar. And the guy was like, yeah, sure, y'all can eat at the bar. And then
start to sit down.
And then he was like, all right, I just need to see your IDs. And we were like, oh, well, she's not 21.
Yeah, so that's not going to work.
She can't sit at the bar. So, but for him, it's probably normal. For us, it's not. In Florida, we don't ever really have that issue.
No.
We never really have that issue.
No.
But then the hostess said that she was like, I was trying to catch you guys so that you didn't waste your time going over there.
Lose our place in the
then we
line.
came back in line and the people in front of us like, oh, it's a 30-minute wait now.
Yeah.
But then they went to the bar, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So we got their spot.
It evened out.
But she was like, yeah, it's kind of weird here. There's a few things. There's things you just can't do. Like,
wear a gun holster.
not have a gun. She just said wear the holster.
You can't even have the holster.
That was kind of strange. That was kind of odd.
Yeah.
So, things you learn. The other thing I learned, or at least I read, and I think is accurate, we were walking down the street in this small town here in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which I'm not really sure if it's a small town, but we'll get to that in a minute. And this guy or this dog started like running in between us, and I'm like, what the?
No leash law?
And the guy, he's like, no, he's with me. So I look it up, and I don't think that there is a leash law.
That's weird to me.
I couldn't find any real concrete evidence. So it's either that there isn't a leash law, or there is one and no one enforces it, or the leash law also includes no leash, but the dog being controlled by verbal command.
And actually, when they went past us, somebody else commented, wow, look how well that dog behaves. Better than half the children we've seen running around.
But I could see a lot of Karens just running out. Like, because you got to think, this is, now granted, small town, sort of, but you got a lot of tourists here, right? So you can have some Karens. You can have some Karens showing up from who knows where, suburbia.
Yeah.
And they see a dog off the leash, they'll lose their damn mind.
Very true.
See that on TikTok.
Very true.
But is it a real small town? Is it a real small town? Because we've had this question and debate. It looks like a small town. It feels like a small town. Like a rooftop bar on Wells Fargo.
At the people who live here. So I wouldn't call it a small town.
Yeah.
Maybe the section behind it, but.
Now the people within that area probably everybody knows each other.
Yeah, I would say, most likely.
So maybe that small town feel exists, but I don't know if it's really a small town. But if you live in Jackson Hole, like in like the heart of the square, sort of, which is not Jackson Hole, it
says Jackson
Hole was like. Jackson Hole was closest to the airport.
That's what it says if you pull it up on Google Maps.
So if you live in the area, chime in. What do you think?
The bike's backfiring.
Is it a small town or not? Well, what is the requirement? What constitutes being a small town? That guy's bike made me think about the hotel when we were leaving, and the guy was telling his wife, he's like, yeah, we'll just ride these bikes. I think they rented them from the hotel.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's no locks, but the guy said that nobody ever steals anything here. So maybe it is a small town.
Maybe.
Well, I guess over there would be more of a small town. Sort of.
I mean, that's more like a little baby 15-minute city, honestly.
Yeah, but it is really cool though.
Yeah, it's really neat.
It is really cool. But nonetheless, we did spend some time walking around and enjoying Grand Teton and Jackson Hole, which we really like.
Yeah.
And odds are, this is our second time here. We'll probably be
there will be
again.
A third.
This water's clear. I don't want to spill my coffee.
That's slippery. I do the slide.
I think we've gone far enough.
I want to touch the water though.
Go the other. Go over there.
There's stairs.
Yeah.
But I want to know what this water feels like. Because there's no keep running, but it must not be. Cold time. You can put your shoes in there? No. You gotta stand on the pebbles. Why is this okay, but clear water sand bothers me? Clear water. Oh, that is cold. How are people out in this? No. That is so cold on my feet. But that is so incredibly gorgeous. Oh God, that's cold. Nope, back up. Also, side note, people, rocks hold heat like nobody's business. And heels are now on fire. My phone is freezing. It's a weird time.
But yeah. So the big problem was Bubba's. We couldn't sit at the bar because we just weren't used to the differences and the changes in the laws here, or the ordinances
Your table's
here.
ready.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, we'll pick this back up.
We'll be
later.
back in a minute. Yes.
I think the good news is they always tell you how long a wait's going to be, but usually it is way shorter.
Yeah. And the hostess chick, she's like, I'm really sorry you guys had to wait. I'm like, no, you're fine. I promise.
She's kind of like you. You like to say sorry for a lot of things.
I do. I noticed that I do it all the time.
need to say sorry for.
Yeah. Sorry.
But hey, look, maybe that's part of the small town vibe, you know. Maybe that's part of the small town vibe.
Maybe.
A small town that I don't know. I don't think we would move out here, but we would definitely spend a lot of time out here.
Okay.
But first, we need to figure out what we are going to eat.
I looked at the pictures and it made it worse for me. Because now I can't decide.
What was that review you read? You said 2 hours ago somebody left a review.
Somebody posted that it was the best ribs they'd ever had.
Best ribs they ever had, and the baked beans were money.
The beans and coleslaw were money.
Beans and coleslaw.
Yeah, I'm a coleslaw girl, so I have to
roll
get the
that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah. Ooh, the chicken strip plate sounds good.
Yeah, I think I may end up going with the ribs.
But look, the chicken, half chicken, slow smoked over applewood, finished on the charbroiler with our house-made barbecue.
Oh man, they got burnt in queso.
You can get combo plates too.
Oh boy. The review said afterwards they're gonna need a nap.
Yes, the guy said afterwards we're going to eat it. Another review said, we just ate breakfast here. It's so good we're coming back for lunch later.
Oh, so they ate lunch for breakfast.
No, they ate breakfast here.
Because
it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So they have a
breakfast,
brunch.
lunch. Yeah.
Oh, they got a brunch thing right here.
They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here.
They got Moscow mimosas. You won't like that.
Oh, no, that's the one with
got vodka in it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to do 1 pound St. Louis ribs, slow smoked over applewood, and a baked potato and barbecue baked beans, which this baked potato is similar to Ted's Montana. It's only available after 5.
Yeah.
Now, what's funny is the Ted's Montana that we used to go to by Mall of Georgia, the manager, I went for lunch. You might have been there. We sat at the bar, and I was like, man, I wish I could get a baked potato for lunch. He's like, you can if you call me.
Yeah.
He's like, call me in the morning and I'll put one in for you. Because apparently, like, the way they do them, like, it takes time for them to be ready after 5.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one's good. I'm gonna give it a shot. No pressure. Oh, you're not.
Yeah, we're ready. We're good.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you famous or something?
No.
No, not famous. No.
Okay.
We're just on vacation, just recording this to show everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. My name is Bailey. Taking care of you today.
Thank you.
Would you like to drink anything else besides water?
Do you have Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke for her, please.
For her.
Can we get some of the pickle chips,
Sure.
please? And then, do you want to go ahead and order everything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, do you want them to come out at the same time? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter to me. Can we go ahead and order everything? All right. So, what are you doing? Oh, she's gonna do the ribs with French fries and potato salad, please. And I would like to do the 2 meat combo. Can I please do pulled pork and the barbecue chicken? And can I please have coleslaw and fried okra?
And I'll do the ribs also. The 1 pound ribs. 1 pound ribs. And then the sides would be barbecue baked beans and the baked potato.
Would you like to add the cheese and bacon?
Just like loaded. Is it loaded baked potato?
No, it comes on the side.
Okay, that's fine.
And Coke for her.
And just water for me.
Water for you.
Yes, please.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Because it's a water cup. They don't need to give you a gallon size.
No, we're not famous. We're just some random people recording everything and throwing it on YouTube. But I think people like it,
Yeah.
especially the variety.
Yeah.
Which all the channels, you have to have that variety because they all can't exist in one place.
I agree.
But speaking of existing, I don't think we can exist here.
No.
And we've only been June and July, summertime,
Yeah.
wintertime. Well, now, granted, we do want to come back in the fall.
We do want to come back in the fall. I want to see, because I like it when it's cold. So I want to come back in the fall and see what it's like. But here's the thing. I want to do the 34-mile hike. up
34
Grand
miles.
Teton. Yeah.
Yeah, they said 17 hours. It seems kind of fast.
Yes.
I don't think I would rush it for 17 hours, but we would have to figure out the food situation
Yeah.
and the
We'd have to bring the
shelter
Class B.
situation,
Yeah.
and all that,
Yeah.
and the bear spray
And the tent.
situation.
Yeah.
But that would be the closest that we would come to living in the wilderness for a short period of time.
I mean, I feel like we could half a year it, but not a full year it. You know what I mean?
But I would still bet, and you said the same thing, that buying land here
Thank you very much.
wouldn't be cheap.
There's no way. We'll have to look it up later, but there's no way it's
Well,
cheap to buy land.
the area that we were in, driving past Grand Teton,
Yeah,
would not be cheap.
not at all.
But probably far more affordable than that.
Yes, this is a lot of money.
But obviously, that's not any one person trying to buy it.
No, that's definitely going to be a company.
What do you think?
Something Chinese or Vietnamese.
Care to read?
Mystery company buys $800 million worth of land near Travis Air Force Base, raising concerns about national security.
Where's Travis Air Force Base?
Travis Air Force Base is in Denverton.
Denverton is in.
Hold on. It's showing California.
Okay, all right.
So it says here, Fairfield, California, the United States Air Force is investigating a company that's purchased $800 million of land near Travis Air Force Base, one of the most critical military bases of the U.S. But after 8 months of investigation, government officials have been unable to identify who's behind it, nor rule out any threat to national security.
Wow, that's crazy that you can buy property
That close?
and that close to a military installation and maintain
Anonymity.
being anonymous.
Do you know who did it?
Well,
The United States, probably.
and it's it's a shell within a shell.
Yeah.
It's a ghost in a shell,
Yeah.
basically. But you can use businesses and business entities to pretty much hide the true owner,
Yeah.
which is actually a thing in Wyoming and
Montana is the other
Montana,
one, right? Yeah.
right? And Montana was big for a while because it would allow people to purchase really expensive assets like expensive exotic luxury cars
Yes.
and not have to pay the sales tax on it, and they would run it through a business LLC. And Wyoming is another that protects businesses from it basically keeps them lawsuit proof sort of from the state, but then ultimately the people don't actually own the businesses. They're just high-ranking employees or members of the business.
What I find very interesting in this very first paragraph, without even going farther into the paragraph, is that government officials can't identify who bought land.
They can.
I'm sure they can, because by saying that they can't, it really, really undermines the level of trust that you should have in the government anyway. I mean, if you really trust the government that far, whatever. But if they can't figure out who bought that little parcel of land, how are they going to save you or keep you safe from anything else?
They can. They just are choosing not to divulge that information.
You know why? Because probably somebody in the government here bought it. Somebody in the United States bought it. What if it's Bill Gates and people are all worried about him? So they're like, well, we can't tell them because people are already conspiracy theory about that. You can't tell them it's Jeff Bezos. You can't tell them it's Elon Musk. You can't tell them that it's Biden. You can't tell them it's Trump. You can't say any of that.
They'll pin it on Ray Epps. They'll say Ray Epps bought it.
So this says here
They'll say Mel Gibson bought it.
We're very, very concerned about this, said Representative
They'll say Jason Aldean bought it.
Jaramendi, I think that's how you say his name. He's a Democrat out of California. He says it's so extensive and so secret, and it's impossible to get any information about what's happening here. Congressman, is it Garamendi or Jaramendi? Whatever. Raised the alarm to the U.S. Air Force, prompting a federal investigation.
Raise the alarm.
Why is a civilian technically raising the alarm to the U.S. Air Force? Why are they not keeping an eye on what's happening right around their borders?
Stories, instances where civilians would raise alarms, and one of them was actually for this massive gold discovery that they raised the alarm, and then the next day it was gone.
Oh, that's how that works.
Like the FBI supposedly came in and took it all and pretended like nothing happened.
Now, it does say here, there was a reporter, Stephanie Sierra, said, in your briefings on the matter, do you have any reason to believe the purchase of this land is for spying? You know, Chinese balloon related, I guess, but whatever. And the representative says, I have every reason in the world to believe that this land is adjacent to a critical national security platform, Travis Air Force Base. Therefore, an area where spy operations or any other nefarious activity could take place that could detrimentally, thank you so much, that could detrimentally impact the ability of Travis Air Force Base to operate in a moment of national emergency. Because think about it, they buy all this land around. If they build up, because if they're able to buy this land, that means that they know what they can and cannot do with it. If they're going to build up, they could be blocking the ability for the Air Force to get out. They could be blocking the ability for the Air Force to see what's coming at them at the same time. So you have to look at it from both sides of the coin. Now, according to this, public records show the company Slannery Associates LLC began purchasing land around the military base in 2018. The controversy was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Investigators say those acquisitions ramped up in 2023. So for 5 years they've known, and they've been watching this company buy land, and until they got to a point where they were like, hey, that's a lot, they didn't say anything.
Well,
It's hot.
odds are somebody probably did say something, so now they got to cover their butt. It's always not what it seems. So someone else did the digging, they saw it, and they started, oh, all right, now we got to pretend like we can't figure out who it is. But at the same time, similar to Grand Teton here, national parks, I'm not allowed to fly my drone inside the park. I can fly my drone outside the park.
Yeah.
And I can fly it up, and I can look into the park.
Same thing as if you're buying land all around. But here's what's funny. Wall Street Journal is the one who started talking about it. It wasn't the Air Force Base. It wasn't the congressman. It wasn't anybody who should have been concerned. It was a journalist out there who said, I'm noticing something weird. Let me poke. So it says, now literally 3 sides of that base are totally controlled by the Flannery Group. 3 sides. They let all 3 sides get purchased.
That's crazy.
That's an issue in my opinion.
But is it?
What do you mean?
Whereas, for instance, on the flip side, if they wanted to take someone's land, they would.
You mean the domain style?
And they would then have 3 sides, surrounded by whoever was already there.
Now here's my question. We're all going to look at this in a negative way. What if whoever bought that is the most patriotic person you'll ever meet in your life?
Jason Aldean?
Patriotic company you'll ever meet in your life, and they bought it in efforts to ensure that nobody else could get around it because of how many foreign companies are coming here and buying up land. What if that's the case? But because it looks this way, we're all going to go the negative.
I'm not going to go negative. But I am going to ask you a question. And I think our food's coming out. But I'm going to ask you a question. How did you feel? Or how do you think the people felt inside of Grand Teton at 2:35 p.m.? How do you think the people felt inside Grand Teton today at 2:35 p.m. when a man and a woman in all black, is it garb?
I don't know what it's called, honestly.
I don't know what it's called, but it's covered head to toe. They lay out their blanket, and then obviously we can see where the sun is.
Mm-hmm.
You can connect the dots. They're facing east,
Mm-hmm.
and then my stupid self was like, are they about to do yoga? Because they had the blanket out. But no, they proceed to pray.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think the people felt in the park?
I think the people who
In the U.S. National Park.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this one, but I think the people who are either closed-minded or scared of everything because they don't know anything were probably worried about it, and that's how I mean it. Like, I think most people probably were like, "Oh, big deal." Just like it's not like you go to a restaurant and you see people before they eat, they all hold hands and pray. It's not a big deal. Now, to other people, they might be like, "Oh, religious fanatics." You know what I mean?
Now let me ask you this. What if they did the exact same thing? They lay out their blanket. They got their Quran, maybe, I believe. They're facing east. They're beginning to pray. At these specific times that they have, multiple times that they have to do this. What do you think would happen if they tried that in a small town? Because they can't. I mean, they could try to map out their schedule, but when the time comes, and if they're in a small town, what do you think would happen?
It depends on that small town and the people in it. Thank you. Oh, okay, that's a hot plate.
You got bones in your wrist, bugs.